What I wanted to talk mostly about today is how did I get here? How did this happen? Because part of the thing about thriving beyond understanding how this happens. Because a lot of times we are all thrown so off guard that we don't understand about where it came from. We thought maybe just our partner had uh, different characteristics, maybe things that weren't so negative, but and when we come to these groups, we're like, holy crap, is that what happened to me? So the reason that I have this specific group is so you guys understand, like last week we talked about sex with a narcissist, what that looks like. This week I want to talk about like, you know, how do we get to breathe again? How do we get to breathe again, guys?
I'd like to know.
Leave.
So in my last session, we talked about like how being in these relationships prohibits us from having self-esteem. It prohibits us from having confidence, which in turn prohibits us from having self-compassion. All these things prohibit us from thriving beyond. So until we start to understand like the nitty-gritty of what happened, we can't possibly move forward. Like we can hear about it. Like we have people say to us, oh my gosh, like that person's toxic or that person's negative or you shouldn't be in that relationship. Okay, great. Thanks. But what does that really mean for me? So the corrosive effects that toxic relationships have on your health. Let's start with that. So number one, toxic relationships consume a very large amount of time, emotional energy. They alienate us from other people. Why? Scott, I know you know. Tell me why, Scott.
Because of their wrongdoings.
Yeah.
And basically their wrongdoings.
Their projection. Yeah. So any type of toxic relationship, whether it is physical, emotional, mental, it can affect our overall well-being to a point where things start to manifest in different ways, right? It can manifest in a lot of different ways. I have an exercise, and there's enough people here where I'll start the exercise. So I'm going to ask this question, and I'm not going to suggest I want to see your hands. I want to see your hands. I want to hear from you. Part of healing is being able for you guys to share and understand how you are so similar to other people in this interaction. Did you feel constantly anxious, depressed, drained? If you answered yes to any of those three, raise your hands. Good. I'm going to start on my top left. So I see 9 people now, 10 people. So I want you to hold your hands and hold your hearts and stay where you're at. Don't move. I'm going to start with Kara. Kara, tell me.
What do you want me to tell you, Christine?
Did you feel constantly anxious?
Yeah, I do
Depressed,
currently.
drained?
All of it.
Do you want to give a little bit more insight into it?
Yeah. I mean, as Christine mentioned, I'm new, but it's gotten to a breaking point where my health is deteriorated. I'm constantly anxious. It's affecting, every aspect of my life, my children, So it's just kind of become consuming,
Good, thanks. Hey, Lolita.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My response to your question is I experienced all of the above as well as Kara. I'm constantly anxious. My appetite is affected. I've lost weight, gained weight, and going through the cycle again, lost and gained. I've just recently gained. I had a stroke, and I continue to have anxiety attacks. I had to go on medication for a while. I got off the medication, but I'm still having the anxiety attacks, and I get therapy once a week, and I have circles. So that's my experience.
Good. Well, I'm not saying good for your experience. I'm saying thank you for sharing. I'm glad that you're here. Hey, Greg. Scott.
All the above. But,
Okay.
16 months in, being with circles, it's going away. Healing is there. It's a journey. We've talked about this before, Christine. The hamster wheel is gone. I threw it in the garbage. I don't believe in that anymore. And, I've become good at setting boundaries. I've become great at saying no. And my new phrase is, I'm no longer going to defend myself for your wrongdoings.
Thank you. What about you, Tracy? Tatiana.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I just
Tracy.
I just want to tell you from my experience of my life being married 10 years, it's just total disaster. And I'm new. First of all, I'm new here, and I'm so glad that I found circles actually, and I'm trying to find some people who is in this situation, desperate, completely desperate, feel desperate and alone. And I just finally I got to the point that I understand what I'm dealing with. I was struggling actually to understand for so long, to understand who is my husband, and it's just, oh my, I'm terrified actually. That there is no hope actually. I mean to change him or live differently. That's it. That's it. It's a chaos, complete chaos.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
it
Well,
affected my life. Yeah, like
no,
this.
I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What about you, Tatiana?
It was Tatiana talking to you. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who lowered their hands?
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm
so
sorry, guys.
So when you're done, lower your hands so I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
go
Thank you
back to you.
because I'm new. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Go ahead, Tina.
All the above, like everyone else said, and I believe that it aided in me getting an autoimmune disease, and with counseling and with one-on-one counseling and with circles, I feel I'm starting to heal myself.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Scott, I think your hand was up from last time, so I want to skip to Susan. But if you want to still talk, I'll keep it. Hey, Susan.
Hey, Christine. I apologize. I couldn't get in the app till late, but I have a pretty good idea. I am going into my third month of no contact after 6 years, and let's see. I suffer from. I hope I'm on the right track here. Severe anxiety, panic attacks. I'm on medicine. I go to counseling once a week, but he refuses. He's not trauma based. I can't find anyone in my area. Circles has helped me the most. I've gone from overeating to no eating to, let's see, the most important one. My health was taking a serious hit, and now I'm still trying to fight my way back, and I'm older. But I don't feel that I now know I don't want to go back. Where before it was I was crying and ruminating. I guess I now know there is no way I go back to that person. So I hope that I'm on the right track here.
I think you are on the right track, Susan. I know you've been here for a while, and I know that you're putting in the effort. So the one thing that I ask of people is that you really just give yourself, like, I'm not just saying give yourself to me. I'm saying give yourself to me and like put yourself, like, let me trust me, please, and I will guide you along. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Hope.
Hi. I noticed that my whole body got dysregulated. My whole mental got dysregulated. I know, like, when you're in constant fight, flight, freeze, that cortisol starts to kind of poison your body and your muscles, and all the autoimmune stuff started shooting up because mentally I wasn't ready to process it, so I was repressing it. and my body was like red flag, red flag. So like one thing after the other in my body kept going wrong, and I'm still suffering the consequences, a lot of surgeries, a lot of trying to get back mentally, like trying to regulate my mental, my physical, and my spiritual health is like a huge challenge because I feel like it threw me way off track.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Tracy.
Hi, sorry, I couldn't unmute earlier.
That's all right. That's okay. You did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Okay, good. Thank you. All of the above, but most definitely depression and dissociated for several years. And it's still, I am moved out at the end of February, and I'm almost off the hamster wheel. It still comes in huge waves. And I'd never been in therapy until this past December. Did I need it? Yeah. But I'd been in isolation with this person for 12 years, lost so many family members, all my friends, and was completely alone and reliant on this one person for mind, body, spirit, everything. And then all gone. And so I created a huge support network for myself. I'm not saying it was easy. I had suicidal ideations through it. I've had so much holistic support, energy healing circles since March. It has been such a huge net of love and support. And that includes you, Christine. Thank you so much for everything you do. But even now I have to play real or not real with some of it. Because I was walking beside myself for so long. I can't remember a lot of things that happened. And I've stopped trying to sort out the other person and focusing on myself, but I still have to play real or not real.
No, I love that, real or not real. So, I mean, people who have been with me have heard me say rational, irrational. So, but I do love that part. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lolita.
I was trying to put my hand down. Sorry. I just wanted I did want to say something, but I just wanted to say today is my birthday, and I'm
happy birthday
with you guys. Thank you.
Uh-huh. So I do want to take a chance to recognize everyone else who came in the room. I'm sorry if you guys have popped around and I couldn't get to you, but Lori, thanks for being here. Dave, thanks for being here. Jill, Nikki, Lolly, thanks for being here. Carrie, Hope, I think I spoke to already. But you guys pop around and give hearts so many times. I can't always get to you. So I know Kate. Kate, are you new to me?
I am new, yes.
Well, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are welcome. And Kat, I think I feel like I might know you, but we have a couple cats. So if you are not new to me, then I appreciate you being here. Hands up. Yes, Dave.
Kate, you just found one of the best therapists on Circles.
Well, I appreciate you, Dave. Thanks for always giving me, making my head bigger. Thank you, and making my heart full. I appreciate that. Guys, one of the next exercise questions I have for you for Thriving Beyond is talking about how if our partners have criticized, belittled, insulted us, either publicly or privately. And that could be as simple as, you're not a good person, or it could be as simple as, you know what, you don't do this in front of your clients. So I'm asking you guys if those are things that you've heard that you need to work through. Yes, Lolita.
Well, my narcissist, my husband, and his most belittling thing that hurt, all of them hurt, but I have a master's degree, and he would call me stupid, and because I'm not in a career that I wanted to be in, his remark would always be, well, what good is your master's degree doing for you? And that graduate school was a big accomplishment for me. So for him to belittle that hurts.
Oh, well, Mark stinks. Hey, Carrie.
Is that me, Christine?
Are you Carrie?
No, Kara. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I thought you
yeah.
were, because I have
No,
my hand up.
so if you watch along, you can see like where
Oh,
your face
sorry.
is. Because no worries.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
Hi.
Hi. So I'm newer, but I
Well,
spent
welcome.
years. Thank you. I spent probably the last 5 to 10 years, well, actually, I was with him for 20 years, and then the last 5 to 10 is when it got really bad. And he frequently belittled me and demeaned me, telling me I was fat and lazy and didn't do anything but sit on the couch and watch TV or things like that. And I mean, it came in other forms and fashion, but that was one that happened pretty much every day.
Thank you so much. Hey, Kara.
Okay, so part of what I'm dealing with right now is that it's kind of like whiplash of sometimes he thinks I'm wonderful and beautiful and he loves me so much, and then other times, he blames me for everything that he does. He says that I'm the one that causes his depression, I'm the one that causes his anger, I'm the one that causes him to be mean. He will tell me that, I've basically ruined everyone's life that I've, been around, my parents, his life, because of my mood swings or problems, health problems. Um, he mocked me in front of my children several times recently. And so it's just gotten to the point where, I'm just struggling to deal with that anymore.
Kara, would you mind after I'm done with this, everyone's hands, if I come back to you?
Of course.
Okay. Hey, Susan.
Hey, I'm sorry, Kara. I wanted to just reach out to her and say I'm sorry because basically, and if I start crying, I do. It was the same thing, everything. But this is what got to me. I'm a speech pathologist, and he would belittle and mock me every day about my grammar of all things. And he would say, you shouldn't say that because it's automatically negative and you are negative, victim. And that's just one of the many things. But I felt like I had nothing left. So everything basically, like you said, yes. But it's so insulting.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Dave.
You're welcome.
With my ex, it wasn't so much any one specific thing as much as like everything all the time. And there were near the end, there were very few words that came out of her mouth in a calm voice. It was almost always shouted at me, and it wasn't just me; it was me and my two sons, anyone who happened to be within shouting distance, and um, and just that whole mode of communication conveys supreme disapproval. And I'm right now on a road trip out to Los Angeles to pick up a camping trailer for reasons that I want to take time to get into. And I'm finding that having a lot of time to myself on the road, I know what I was like when I was younger, when I was on road trips. I loved road trips and still like road trips, but I am finding it really hard to be with just me. Because
Because you've been so used to having your boys with you. So I get that.
Yeah, but I don't mean it that way, in the sense that I am realizing just how activated my nervous system still is, even after all these months, and all these months being on my own and enjoying. Mostly, I've gotten to a point where I really love being on my own, but that how much of that trauma is still in my body. And you're asking me about ways that we've been impacted, and I'm pretty sure that the terrible sinus allergies that I have, like almost all the time, that all started with all the trauma. So I don't know, but I suspect that there's a connection there.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being here, Dave. I always appreciate you.
I always appreciate you too, and everyone who follows you. Thank you.
Is it Dante?
Yes, yes, it is.
Hello. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. I kind of just wanted to share a little bit of my story. I'm just now getting out of a relationship with my ex-girlfriend for about a year. She The relationship ended because we ended up getting into a domestic violence incident where I did not retaliate against her. She ended up punching me in the face, scratching me, and then she ended up spitting on me. And now it's going on 2 months since we've been broken up, and I've just been battling these thoughts of, you know, oh, do you take this person back if they come back? But at the same time, she had narcissistic ways, and when you love somebody, you pour your all into them. And I felt like I just got taken advantage of. But then again, I'm also feeling guilty because I'm catching her at a time where I'm loving her at her worst. She's experienced things through her life, and I feel like, you know what? I'm by your side. I'm supporting you. I'm here with you as my girlfriend. We'll get through it. But I've just been battling those thoughts, even still to this day, of because I do still care about her. But then I have that thought of, well, somebody that cares about me wouldn't have done that, and they wouldn't be acting like that as if they don't, and they wouldn't be picking up their life as if nothing ever happened with the situation. But then again, it's like we lived together, and she had me in front of her child. I was introduced to her parents and her family, and I'm just kind of not necessarily on a roller coaster, but I'm just on the up and down swing of everything. I'm healing. I'm doing much better than I was doing before. Um, because at first it's like, oh my God, I can't do it. I don't know if this. I just don't want to be. I gotta have some sort of relationship with her. I got something. I have to have some sort of contact, connection. However, now I'm at the point to where I've accepted that maybe we're not ever going to speak again, but I still have that subconscious thought of maybe we would work out. But I don't know. I'm just kind of want to hear other people's opinions and kind of, you know,
Well, I'm
move
glad.
forward in my
I mean,
healing.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening, because the way that we heal is that we listen to other people tell us, or like we listen to their stories, and it kind of normalizes things for us in the way that we're feeling, not the way that we're normalizing the situation. We normalize the way we feel. I just want to make sure I always make sure that people understand that. Thanks for sharing, Dante. I appreciate it. Hey, Scott.
Hi, Christine. Dante, that resonated a little bit with me here, and so did what Dave was saying. I'll go with what Dave was saying first about, it got to the point where, communication was just so always anger. There was always anger there from her, and she had to shout in your face or in the children's face, like directly in front of them. But not to take too long, to hear a little bit of it. 17 years married, 32 years together, met when we were 19 and 15. She had the affair. I uncovered it. I got through it. I'm well through it. I'm in a healing phase. This has been going on for 16 months, filed for divorce in February this year. Things got really, really toxic then, like majorly, order of protection on each side. No violence within the home, except for just more verbal and mental abuse, but no physical. But again, what I've learned is I don't want the answer why. We know why. There's something wrong there, and that's fine. But what I've learned to deal with is learn to move on, learn to be me. And someone else said it before, you that roller coaster, right? Yeah, I lost the 16 pounds. I've gained 9 of them back. Okay. And I'm getting my power back, and I'm doing for me and my children. Do I have good days and do I have bad days? I do. Okay. But what I'm learning is that there's more good days than bad days now. So that leads me to believe, and yes, I'm in therapy, is that I get to a point where I've learned how to say no, and learn how to, give an answer that she can't answer back, and there'll be no argument. But I'll give you one point. There's no reasoning, with a narcissist. And I've been through so much. I never thought I would ever get through this. I was weak. I was tired. I was ready to give up a million times. But Circles has really, sent it home to hear everyone's story. But in the end, good week. Last week was a great week until, 3 o'clock Friday when you get that email and you cringe when you never get a text or an email from the person. By the way, I'm still living with this person, and she is with her affair partner while we're living together, which is fine. I've accepted that. But lo and behold, when you get that email and you cringe and you say, oh, what is in it? And it's that daunting email of, well, good job, Dad. Your son is now going to be kicked out of school for non-payment of tuition. Okay, I think we agreed that who's going to pay and yada, yada, yada. No, you need to go to the attorney and clear up whatever funds. I don't need to do anything. You need to do your part. So it was no argument. It was, I've communicated with the school. I've communicated with the attorney. And I learned to basically communicate that in a way of, I've done my part. And when I go home today, it was clear that her attorney needs to call mine, and her attorney never did. So my conversation will be, I've done my part. I've contacted the school. Here's the result. And your attorney never called mine. So I'll end it there. Sorry to go off, Christina.
Oh, no, absolutely not, Scott. I appreciate you being here, and thanks for being so supportive to other people in the chat. I really do appreciate it. And for those of you who came in, I know Tracy, Kevin, Helen, Jill, I think you came in later. Tina, I just want to make sure I never miss anyone that comes into the groups. I always want to make sure that you guys know that you're welcome here, and I appreciate your feedback, especially for the newer people who are here. So, understanding how this toxic relationship came about, right? So, a lot of times, and I know some of you may give me hesitation with this, if we're talking about like early childhood trauma, right? And why do we tend to attract these toxic people into our life? Why have I had more than one toxic person in my life? So first and foremost, I always want to make sure that I represent the empath in all of us, right? This compassionate nature where we all are always willing to help other people. It actually has a term in clinical psychology, and it's called savior mentality. And if you look it up, it's something where I'm trying to put it into words, where our terms are only considered as needs to secondary of another person. So what does that sound like? Tell me, people. Tell me.
Codependency.
Thank you, Hope. Okay. So here's another trait that we have, right? That we have being in this group, trying to, thrive beyond, to make sure that we don't repeat older habits, is that we create our childhood. It is true. Expressing the needs of a child when we were children was selfish and shameful. If you can relate, you guys can raise your hands. Like, we have plenty of time. Go ahead, Kara.
So, as Christine knows, I've been traveling for the last week and visiting my family, and I never get a chance to see them without my spouse or my kids. And I've been having a lot of problems with my husband, so it gave me a chance to talk to my parents without him. And it made me realize that I have been my whole life trained to be codependent and trained to put the needs of other people first, especially my father's, and that I have, put myself in a situation where, if men are, charming and, so on, and they make me feel loved, that, they basically can easily persuade me to be in a situation where, I can put them, I will put them first. And so looking back, I'm now realizing, like, all throughout my childhood, I stuffed my feelings down. I didn't tell people, what I wanted and what I felt. And now I'm in a situation where I'm finally starting to speak up for my needs because I have to, because of my health issues, and it is not going well. So I'm realizing that, it's a big, powerful thing to realize that these things that we were taught as children or, learned,
That we accepted.
yeah, that it's like it becomes our reality. And when you start doing those things, people expect you to continue it. And when you start standing up for yourself or saying what you think, they don't like it.
Thanks. Anyone else want to reply to Kara? Yeah, Lolita, go ahead.
I just want to say, Kara, you are spot on. I sing that same song. And I think for us both, once we realize that we need to speak up for ourselves and that our needs matter, I believe that has us on the road definitely to healing. So I just want to encourage you and say, you're my shero.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Listen, I love all your hearts, but words are so much different. So I always want to encourage you guys to say how you feel. Yes, Dave.
How I feel is I literally have no words to add to what Kara said. She said everything I would have said except better.
Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate it. Christina been encouraging me to come back to circles, so I'm glad I did. It's really helpful to hear that you guys are all experiencing some of the things that I'm currently going through.
No, go ahead, Susan.
I just wanted to thank Kara and Lolita. Kara, you, like they said, you're spot on, and I've not heard it put so well by somebody. And thank you, because I needed to hear that again and again, and I'm working on it. So thank you both. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no, thank you, Susan. Go ahead, Lolita.
I'm sorry. I promise I won't take up the room all day, but I just wanted to encourage each and every one of us the importance of circles and Christine and rooms like this, because it makes, for me, I know my experience has been, it makes me feel normalized to know that others are going through this, and it helps me to not be so hard on myself, because I kept saying I don't understand why I didn't see what the red flags, and I was hard on myself for being in a relationship. We've been married for 5 years, and I kept being harder on myself for I guess for taking the abuse for 5 years. But then I've heard others who's been much longer than I have, and that just helped me with offering self-compassion to myself. So I want to encourage that for all of us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey guys, listen, I'm always so appreciative of how you support our new members and how you support, people even that So I just want to always make sure I let you guys know that I really appreciate you guys here helping me and supporting like the things that I say and validating it, even, through your own words about like what your experiences have been, especially for new people who have been here. I do want to continue going through this because we won't have a lot of time after I do our affirmations and stuff, but I do want to continue to talk about another one of the traits that we have to tend to thrive beyond is, our toxic person's constant need to please people. We rarely say no because we always want to please them. We fear being rejected, so we always say, okay, or yeah, I guess. And again, my voice is not, I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm just saying, like, that's what we do. We get tired of confrontation. We try to avoid conflict at all costs. So we agree with almost everything, even though that we adamantly disagree. So fear, if you want to be serious about it, fear drives this affection. Because we're afraid, we are trying to get affection out of this person. Does that make sense to anyone?
Absolutely.
Yep. Go ahead, Tina.
Definitely. I can't count on any fingers. It'd be like, I need everybody's fingers to count it. How many times I said yes, and inside my body's like, no, I don't want to. And I still did it because honestly, I feel like I was groomed by my parents. I had no choice. I had to please everybody to not have the abuse. So,
hey, do me a favor. Hey, Scott, I'm going to ask you to, Scott, would you mind running this room for 1 second?
Sure.
I have something going on in front of my house I need to go attend to, but if you can just continue asking about the same question, thank you.
Sure. So would anyone else like to chime in on what was recently said?
Yes, Scott, I think my hand was next up.
Go ahead.
But what I wanted to say is I just had this conversation yesterday with my mother, and I know that for me, in order to survive in the relationship, I did what you call go along to get along. So I would not say no, because I knew if I did, there would be such retaliation, and you get tired of the constant arguing, and it sucks your energy that you get to the point where you just like, okay, yeah, whatever you want, just so that I don't have to fight with you. So I thought that was spot on that Christine mentioned.
Very well said. Let's go to Helen.
Thank you, guys. It's my first time to join this group, actually. I have a question for you guys. I managed to separate from my partner, and how hard it is to separate with this kind of people. So he managed to isolate me from all my immediate family, friends. Even he managed to create a problem in my workplace. And now I am feeling like, should I make a peace with this person, just at least to get my friends back or my family back, because I am really isolated and I'm confused. So I just need some idea on that, like any suggestion, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Scott, so much. I'm sorry. I saw like we often have like power outages, and I saw people like coming in my driveway. And I thought I had another one. I'm like, crap, but I have nothing, so I'm good. So was that just Helen?
That was Helen, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was
Hey,
just going to
Kara.
respond. Yeah.
Oh.
So sorry, I got off topic because of what
it's okay.
You said, Christine. Helen, what was the last part of what you said?
What I was saying is, I was just asking a suggestion, because I am at this point to thinking like to create a peace. I managed to separate from him, but again, I lost everything just to gain back at least my family and friends. Should I make peace with him or just stay away?
So I have been struggling with this because I realized that I am also have gotten very isolated, and I feel like that's almost entirely because this person wanted me to be, especially with COVID starting and everything. Like, I have no friends anymore. I've gotten to the point where, I have no hobbies, things like that. And I feel like, part of what we have to do is, or like at least I have to do, is redefine myself and redefine, what makes me happy and who makes me happy. And I am not willing to, even though I keep feeling like it, even today, like I keep feeling like I should apologize to that person. But I'm not willing to allow that person the satisfaction of feeling like of continuing this cycle. And so, you know, I think you can always go to your friends without going through that person. But I do think that, you know, at least for my good, I have to stop apologizing to them, and I have to stop caring so much about, you know, what they think and how they feel.
I just need to interject. I don't think you have to stop caring about how they think or feel. I think you need to start caring about how you think or feel more than how they think or feel.
Yeah, that would
So
be a good thing, probably.
It's right. It's that adject. It's that old adject, which, you know, listen, I love you, but I love me more.
And I've never done that.
That's not a bad thing. It really isn't a bad thing. And I try to instill that in my groups. I try to instill that in my private people. It's not a bad thing to love yourself a little bit more. And it doesn't mean that you are narcissistic. It doesn't mean that you are selfish. It means that you are putting yourself first. And that putting yourself first can only make you better for other people. Because if we don't believe in who we are, and we don't believe that we are good, or we don't believe, or let me reverse. If we believe all the bad shit people say about us, then what good does that do for us or anyone else? We just feel bad. And when we feel bad, we can't do anything. Like, we're literally stuck. Scott, hand up from last time or this time?
This time. That was
Yeah.
spot on, Christine. And I just wanted to chime in on that because been there, done that. You have to think about you first. We have the same friends. It's to the point where they don't communicate with, some don't communicate with her, some don't communicate with me. Her family, we do not talk whatsoever. Now, that's okay, and that's fine. But again, Christine said it. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm sorry for your wrongdoings. I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking about me, right? I'm thinking about the children. So I think Christine said it the best, and I'm just going to, you know, piggyback on that and say that you, and I think it was Kara that maybe, or someone else that said it, you can go around that person, you know, to get friends back. You don't need that individual. You can do that on your own.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Lolita.
And I just wanted to piggyback and say my experience has been, in order to gain my friends back or my family, whom he's managed to isolate me from, what I've found helpful is not going through him, but actually going to the individual and explaining what I have been living through with him, and gaining compassion, a little more compassion, because I've found, unfortunately, that unless someone has been through this, they really don't understand. And from the outside, they're just like, well, I don't understand why you stayed, why you're taking that from them, why you let them treat you like that. And it's just, it takes too much energy to try to explain. So what I have done is try to rebuild bridges back with the folks who he isolated me from. And he's told me that I'm toxic because I've told other my friends that he was the reason that, you know, I had been isolated from them. So I let him say what he wants about me, but I refuse to apologize to him for anything, because they never think they do anything wrong. So if I go and apologize to you, that's reinforcing your feeling that you never did anything wrong. So that's counterproductive. So I absolutely do not recommend apologizing to them for anything, except for the fact that he was born, but that's a different story.
Thank you, Lolita. I appreciate your little giggle at the end. Thank you. Go ahead, Suzanne. Susan, sorry.
That's okay. I'm just relating to what Scott and Lolita said. I have nobody now. And I do know, I don't know if it's okay to say this, but I'll say it and you can tell me, Christine, I'm sorry. And I'm apologizing to you. To go back at this point after how he treated me, even if I reached him, that's, to me, that's breaking, like no contact. And then I would be leaving the door open for abuse again. And I can't, the people I have reached out to, that didn't go very well because they believed his story. So it's hard to know what to do, but I know definitely not to go back to him and get an apology. I feel like he owes me one. I'll never get it anyway. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. And guys, I think a lot of times we and I don't want this to sound like in a negative light. I feel like we tend to feel bad for ourselves because of things that have happened or because of the ways that we may not have reacted to things that have happened. And this is a normal thing, right? We are trying to figure out like what the fuck had just happened to us. Like how are we going to get through this? There's nothing wrong with us. There's something wrong with them. But I retract that statement a little bit and I say, hey guys, what do you guys need to change? Not there's anything wrong with you, but what do you need to change? So I'm asking you, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to let go?
Well,
It's hard.
Sorry, Lolita, you had.
I think what I need to change is, and I hate to because this is what I keep hearing, but I need to love myself more. And like you said, I can love him, but I need to love me more. And that's where I need to get to. I do love myself. I do not feel that I have low self-esteem. So this being told that I have low self-esteem, that just does not resonate well with me. But whatever I need to do to free myself of this nightmare, if it's love myself more, I deserve to love myself more. So I just look at it that way.
Good. Thanks, Olivia. Thanks for being here. Hey, Kara.
Hi again. So I have two things. I have to find out who I am again because I feel like I've let myself completely be absorbed and I had no sense of self anymore. So I've got to figure out what I love to do, what gives me energy and, makes me happy. So there's that. And I think that'll help, my family in that regard. But I think also I have to let go of some fear and that I was so scared of, what would happen to my children, how he would react to me saying I'm, not going to take this anymore and, losing the house, things like that. And, my stepmother.
Empty threats.
Yeah. So those are the things I've got to let go of those things.
So, Lolita, hand up again.
Yes, based on what she just said, I think also the way we need to look at it is we have to find a new normal. And a new normal means, how we're going to go forward, what's going to make us happy. And again, rediscovering ourselves. So that's the way I look at it, finding a new normal.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Guys, I appreciate you guys being here. But again, I am back to back. I will be back as soon as I possibly can. My next session starts at 6 and it's about zipping your inner critic. And I think that goes really well with what we're talking about right now, because when we have people talking negatively about us, our inner critic is really, really harsh. So hopefully you'll join me back here. If you can't, that's great. No, I'm sorry. If you can't, I'm sad about it because I would like for you to be here. But if you can't, then I have another session tomorrow morning. But my brain is on food right now and I'm so sorry. Like I'm depleted. So I need to go eat. And I'll be back here as soon as I possibly can. So I hope I can see all you guys. If not, you guys know about my group that is starting through my private practice. Circles won't publish it. I'm kind of upset about that, but it does start next Wednesday. It is all about mindful self-compassion, sorry. And we do have a workbook. It's a little bit more intimate and it is on video. So we were able to see each other because I think that that's a lot more personable than the audio rooms. So if you're interested in that, please click on my name where it says Circles Plus Expert. And you can join that room. Either myself or my admin Mark will get to you. But I do need to go right now and I will be back as soon as I can. And we will talk about the zipping it of the inner critic. Bye, everyone. Thank you all for being here, especially our new people. Thanks so much. And thank you for all of my faithful people for being here, for supporting them so well. I appreciate it.
And thank you.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Christine.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.